For more on this, let's bring in Ryan Mauro of Clarion Intelligence Network. Ryan, the Russians are denying that they have any involvement in this. Assad is denying it. But how can Assad have chemical weapons if he didn't get them from the Russians?
Well, Syria has long been a client state of Russia, and before that, the Soviet Union. So those ties go way back, and Russia helped them basically build all of their capabilities that then matured, and they work in unison. Whenever Assad does something, all of a sudden the Russians come out, they say fake news, fake news, fake news. Assad is this innocent, wonderful guy, and then they use their Russian bots and their propaganda outlets to spread that disinformation, which is something that Americans should be prepared for in the coming days, especially if the United States does bomb Syria, which I think is extremely likely to happen.
You know, the UN Security Council, they did meet an emergency meeting yesterday. Listen to what Nikki Haley said during that meeting.
We are beyond showing pictures of dead babies. We are beyond appeals to conscience. The United States is determined to see the monster who dropped chemical weapons on the Syrian people held to account. The United States will respond.
All right, the response may be another missile attack. Is that the right strategy?
I think so. It has to be tougher than what we did last time because Assad is now again violating the red line. So the punishment has to be tougher. It might even go so far as trying to cripple the Syrian Air Force and maybe even make it so that they can't go in the skies at all. Assad has to feel as if his rule is threatened because he doesn't care if his troops die. He doesn't care if Syrians die. Trump calls him an animal for a reason. Many animals have more of a conscience than Bashar Assad.
But let me
all he cares about is himself. So he has to feel as if his life is threatened or his rule is threatened to make him think again about doing this type of stuff. And by the way, he has a long history of killing and maiming American soldiers in Iraq and elsewhere through the terrorists that he supports. That's been long forgotten, but I and certainly people in the military haven't forgotten about that.
Right.
It's time he paid a price for that.
Ryan, I've only got a few seconds, but listen, the president has had strong language. He's been strong on Twitter about Assad. But what if this missile strike is all that we do? Does Assad stay in power, and does he continue to do these atrocities that he's committing?
He might. Honestly, the hope is that someone around Assad says, this is my moment in history to take power, and they overthrow him, or they say, this is my moment in history to be a hero, and they kill him. But whether he falls or not, the objective right now is to deter him from further action. That's something that's very doable.
Ryan Mauro, thank you so much for your perspective this morning. It's great to have you.
All right, thank you.
All right.